Hello everyone, this is a super eco-friendly, wooden do-it-yourself window with homemade double glazing, with muntins, made without any fancy equipment, almost without carpentry skills, using the bare minimum of tools and for next to nothing. In my project, the house is 50 square meters and costs only 1,000 United States dollars, or 75,000 Russian rubles. To clarify, that's the total house cost, not just the window. We've already discussed how to easily make a wooden Euro-style window from door frame blanks by using a ready-made double-glazed unit. It took only 1 hour and $9 to make the window, which is less than 700 Russian rubles. But it's fixed. We also discovered a simple, inexpensive way to make an opening window with hardware store items. Then we managed to make a simple door, which turned out to be better than a store-bought one, also without any hassle. I've decided to work on the most decorative windows, with one side white and the other tinted to resemble rosewood. I bought plain timber at the store, this time with a 30 by 40 millimeter cross section and 2 meter lengths. I made the sash 95 cm tall by halving the bars, and 65 centimeters wide by dividing them into thirds. This way there's almost no waste. I tried to choose the straightest bars. A comment under the video said the door was complicated. Only someone who likely never used a handsaw, chisel, or hammer could describe it that way. But even he can't say that about making this window, because everything is actually simple. To make a more precise cut with a handsaw without any additional tools, I draw lines using a square on 2 sides of the block. I use the first piece as a template for marking the next ones. That way there's less chance of messing up by as much as 10 centimeters right away, which sometimes happens. I'll join the bars using the simplest woodworking joint, the half-lap joint. I think comments here are unnecessary. I make notches with a marking knife for a more precise start to the cut. I'm using a belt sander to make up for not having a sharp chisel. I have some, but I haven't gotten around to sharpening them. I'm not a carpenter, so if I can make these joints, anyone can. If someone does worse than me, since I'm not very skilled, your mistakes will be easy to fix. Using modern glue for example, special polyurethane foam glue forgives a lot of mistakes because it fills in any extra gaps very well. The rebates should be 30 millimeters, but I make them slightly larger by adding a few extra millimeters to the blanks. Anyone who watched the video about my homemade door already knows why this is necessary. I find the center of the bars and mark the grooves. I perform simple, repetitive actions. Then I repeat the same thing with the second set of 3 blanks. It's only 3 minutes into the video, and all the hardest parts are already behind us. The rest is really simple. A file helped me, and since the precision is good, I'm gluing it with PVA. I quickly spread the glue and check the diagonals for equality. A square can also be used to set a 90-degree angle. I clamp it during gluing. As mentioned, these extra protrusions were planned. I reinforce all joints with glued dowels. thin, narrow bars are needed to make the insulated glass unit. I bought ready-made ones that were too wide, so I'm ripping them lengthwise to the right width. Now that's just right. The width is about 14 millimeters, and the thickness is 10. I glue and nail the strips with countersunk nails exactly in the center of the frame bars of the sash. I paint the inner surfaces. I cut the glass, clean the edges, and glue them with clear silicone. Acrylic clear sealant can also work. I cut the glazing bead at a 45-degree angle and glue it with silicone. By the way, you can get glass almost for free if you visit the nearest insulated glass unit factory. Top insulated glass manufacturers reject any glass with defects as small as a grain of sand, often accumulating large amounts of rejected glass. For those wanting to save money, this is perfect. You can get this glass for nearly scrap prices. I'm telling you this from experience. My window has multiple panes and requires small pieces of glass, which makes everything even simpler. I wash the inside glass for the window unit, then attach the second row to the frame. I want to draw your attention to the fact that using double glazing almost doubles the weight of the frame. Glass is heavy and the wooden frame weighs almost nothing compared to it. And in unheated rooms, it might be more reasonable to use windows with single glazing. They are much lighter. According to the original plan, the glazing bead was supposed to be glued almost flush with the bar, but something went a little bit wrong. Maybe I didn't account for the silicone thickness being added. But my belt sander works wonders after using it. Even an experienced carpenter might not instantly recognize the clever joinery techniques used here. The glazing bead now blends with the frame bars, and sanding hid all imperfections. I wouldn't have been able to cut it this evenly in advance, and now it's hard to find fault with the quality of the cut. Even I was surprised at how such a decent looking sash turned out from such an average bar and glazing bead. Technology though, and putty hasn't gone anywhere either. I decided to experiment and rounded the glazing bead's corners on one side. Everything is going well, so with more confidence, I quickly make the second sash. But instead of silicone, I used transparent acrylic sealant this time. Both ways work well. I bought door frame blanks, sets of blanks from the Gomel store wooden corner, fastened in a certain way. The bundle is very straight, and you can only spot the warping of each piece individually after unpacking. 2 out of 3 turned out to be warped. I understand, they have to sell the uneven stock somehow. I brought it home, unpacked it, cursed wooden corner a few times, but there's nothing I can do, I have to make it work. I'll be joining the frame blanks using the method I've already tested on the fixed window. I needed basic window hardware available at any hardware store. Installing hinges is similar for all wooden windows, so I'm not showing it on camera. I use my favorite fasteners, conformats, even for tension, using the longer ones. I drill with a special bit which can easily be replaced by 2 regular ones if you pick the right diameters. You can screw in the conformats with a power screwdriver or a hex key. A standard door frame is 40 millimeters wide, and after sanding, the door leaf is thinner, creating enough space for the seal. After my previous videos, some guys with machines even started to get offended. Back then, I didn't take their side, but the side of the guys without machines. Watching videos of people using machines doesn't suddenly make you want to get up and start creating things. It seems that without those costly machines, nothing will work. I'm trying to change that view. Many, like me, just need to finish a single project, such as building one house. I'm not planning to do woodworking for hire afterwards, so it's definitely not practical for me to buy a bunch of machines. Afterwards, they might not be needed. Videos of guys with machines help only other machine owners and can even harm those without machines. They make it hard to have self-confidence, in my opinion. For beginners, it's important to set up the right conditions before crafting. For example, our government did that for me. In the past, my wife and children were fully content. This was when I started as a small merchant and later ran a tiny business. Any longer and I might have gotten sad. Before, you'd just buy what you needed, but now it's totally different. You hesitate repeatedly about whether to act or not. The cost of a window like this varies greatly. Buying everything ready-made costs the same. If you prepare, dry, and cut the lumber yourself, then buy the glass from a supplier, the cost is much lower, almost negligible. Many people already have a basic circular saw with a push stick at home. Even those with a simple machine will benefit from lower production costs. I admit that's a big advantage for them. It's important that such a simple window using this method can be made by anyone who just suddenly feels like doing it. If you lack a sander, use a block and coarse sandpaper instead. Water wears away stone. I angled and sanded the frame's bottom so water would drain off better. Drip caps at the bottom of the sashes help direct water away from the seal. I was in such a hurry to release this video that I didn't have time to come up with a readily available material for them. They're quick and easy to make. I would really appreciate your advice. Sanding highlighted the wood grain's relief, so even after painting it a solid color, the window still looks natural. So give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and subscribe to my second channel. Another fascinating video is about to be released on it. The link is below the video. Be sure to also click the bell, and then I'll definitely keep you informed. Thank you. Yes, brother.